seated. Statement calls next witness.
Be careful, actually, please. Just be careful more around here, okay, sir?
And if you can stay standing and raise your hand, and I'm going to ask you, do you swear that the testimony you're about to give is the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury?
I do.
You can have a seat. Can you start by stating and spelling your first and last name for the record?
Mark Reed, M-A-R-K-R-E-E-D.
How are you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
A little nervous?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Can you tell us where you're currently living?
In Bristol.
And how long have you lived there?
Not that long.
How long have you had to guess?
Like a couple months.
Okay. Where were you living before Bristol?
The motel.
Okay. Was that also in Bristol?
No, it was in Ashland.
How about before that?
Before that, I was staying with a friend, and before that, I was in prison.
Okay. Were you in prison here in New Hampshire?
Yeah, Concord.
Concord. Why were you in prison?
Because I got arrested in Franklin, and I went to jail, and then something happened there. I got a new charge there as a conspiracy to commit theft by extortion.
Okay.
And then that's when I went to prison.
You were convicted, obviously, if you were in prison? Did you go to trial, or did you accept responsibility?
I took the deal.
Okay. Silly question, but was prison a good experience for you?
No, I hated it. But I mean, I learned my lesson.
Have you made lifestyle changes since release?
Yeah, I'm sober. I'm trying to get my own apartment, my license back, a car, trying to do everything. It's just, it's rough.
Is it a constant struggle for you?
Oh, yeah.
And you said you're sober. When did that change happen?
When I went to prison.
So that's what it took for you to become sober?
Yeah.
When did you go to prison?
It was October 10th, 2020. No, wait, sorry. I went to jail that day. I went to prison, I think it was March or April or something like that.
Of 20?
20, yeah.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
Mm-hmm.
When I asked you, you said you currently live in Bristol. Who do you live with?
My mom and my grandmother and my brother.
So I want to turn your attention to back in 2019, specifically between June 2019 and November 2019. Where were you at in life back then?
I was a drug addict, selling drugs, doing drugs, anything really to make money. Didn't have anywhere to live. Was homeless. It was a bad time.
It was a bad time. When you say you were doing anything to make money, was that to support your you said you were a drug addict, to support your addiction?
Yeah.
How were you making money?
Selling drugs, selling guns, anything to get my hands on.
Sorry, let me back up. I want to unpack all of that. When you say you were addicted to drugs, what drugs were you using back then?
Heroin, meth, Xanax, Klonopins, anything.
And when you say you were selling drugs, what drugs were you selling?
Heroin, meth, mostly those two.
Heroin and meth. Mm-hmm. You also said you would sell firearms?
Yeah.
And can you explain that for me?
Well, I knew different people that I can get them from, and I did. I got them cheap, and I knew other people that would take them, and I would flip them because there's quick money in it.
Let me ask you this, Mark. Are you okay with me calling you Mark?
Yeah.
So back then in 2019, were you able to legally possess a firearm?
Yeah.
How about now?
No.
And is that because of your conviction?
Yeah, I'm a felon.
And you said you could buy firearms for cheap and then just offload them?
Yeah.
Was that easy money?
Mm-hmm.
So back in that time frame that we talked about, did you know someone named Adam Montgomery?
Yeah.
How did you know him?
Well, I first met him. He hit me up on Facebook saying that we went to high school together, and then we like hung out once. And I don't know. After that, I realized I never met him. I never went to high school with him. And after that, we just started talking more. Before I figured out I didn't know him, we talked more and just started making plans to do things to make money and hanging out and shit.
So I'm going to ask you to move a little closer. There's a microphone right in front of you to your left.
Oh, yeah.
And just I want to make sure that everything you say is being picked up. So if I heard correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, he reached out to you via Facebook saying you went to high school together? Okay. And then you said you hung out?
Yeah.
Okay. How often would you hang out with the defendant?
Not that much. I think in total, like 3 times, 4 times, something like that. It was not a lot.
Did the two of you have a drug connection?
What do you mean?
Did you do drugs together?
Yeah.
What drugs would you do?
Meth. I would do heroin by myself, but he would do meth with me.
In those limited actual face-to-face interactions you had with him, did you ever have an overnight with him, like spend the night in the same place as him?
Yeah, one time.
So sorry, I don't want you to elaborate on that.
Just, okay.
A yes or no. Thank you. Did you conduct regular business transactions with the defendant?
Yes.
On one occasion, did he offer to sell you his family pet?
Yes.
And had you met that pet before?
Yes.
So I mentioned Adam Montgomery. Do you see him in the courtroom here today?
Yeah.
Can you point to him and identify an article of clothing he's wearing?
A white shirt.
And can the record reflect the witnesses identified the...
The record shall so reflect.
Did you ever visit the defendant's home?
Yes.
And was that here in Manchester?
Yes.
Do you remember the address?
I think it was 70-something Guilford Street or something.
Do you remember who he was living with at the time?
There was the dog, and there was the Kayla, right? I think that's her name, Kayla, something like that. And the kid.
Okay. And when you say you think Kayla, was that an adult or a child?
An adult.
Was that the defendant's partner, or do you know?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And so how many times did you go to his address on Guilford Street?
I think it was once or twice.
And during those 2 occasions, was there anyone else there?
I think he said one, and he said during those 2 occasions. So I think he was stating what happened.
What did you, Councilor Pro Tem? The objection is sustained. You may rephrase the questions.
So again, Mark, if you can move that mic actually closer to you so counsel can hear it.
Yeah.
You said, did you say you went there once or twice or just once?
Once or twice.
Okay. The times that you went there, were there any other individuals at the home?
Just Kayla and the baby.
Okay. So you mentioned the defendant reaching out to you on Facebook back then?
Yeah.
Saying you went to school together. Was that the primary mechanism that you used to reach out to you?
Yeah.
Did you have a working phone at the time?
Did I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. But it was Facebook Messenger that we're talking about? Okay.
Yes? Yes, you may.
So, Mr. Reed, I'm handing you what's been marked for identification as State's Exhibit 34. And I'm just going to ask you to take a look at that. And you can go through it. Just look up when you're done.
All right.
Okay. Do you recognize what that is?
Yeah.
And what is it?
Messages between us on Facebook.
Okay. And can you do me a favor and turn to the last page? And so the bottom message on that page, if you can look at the left, the box to the left,
Yep.
there should be a number.
1131.
Okay. Would it surprise you that you exchanged back and forth 1,131 messages with the defendant?
That is a lot. That is surprising.
And what was the date of that last message?
4/7/2020.
Okay. And if you can flip back to the first page, the first message, what was the date on it?
It was 7/1/2019.
So you can set that aside. Sorry, are those the messages you exchanged with the defendant?
Yes.
You can set that aside. I want to go back. You said you were in prison at one point in 2020. Were you approached by police officers in relation to this case at some point?
Yes.
And during that interaction with them, did you consent to the search of your electronic devices, specifically your phone and your Facebook account?
Yes.
Judge May.
Yes?
And have you had an opportunity to compare that with the messages that you still have?
Yes.
And let me back up. All those messages that I just showed you, the over 1,100, are those still on your phone?
Yeah.
Still in your Facebook account?
Yes.
And is that the items that I just handed you? Is that a fair and accurate representation of the messages that you exchanged between back and forth with the defendant between September 25th, 2019 and October 4th rather of 2019?
Yes.
Same messages?
Yes.
So at this point, Judge, I would. At this point, Your Honor, I'd move to strike the identification.
Any objection?
Maybe for no objection to
35.
35.
The idea is stricken on Exhibit 35 is entered as a full exhibit.
You still have the exhibit, Mark?
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask that you read the first message on the first page. It should be in the top right.
I miss you too, Doug. I wish you were. Should I say what it said, bleeped out, or just read the F?
So is there a redaction in part of the message?
Yeah. I know what it's supposed to say, but it doesn't say it.
That's fine. You can just say F.
All right. I miss you too, Doug. I wish you were F close the case, because I'd be there every day. I mean, dude, even Tilton's a effing haul. I mean, a effing hour drive from where I'm at right now, bro. You F 45 minutes north of there, so it's like I want to come up there and kick it and S, bro, but I don't get the bread, bro. Me and my wife and my kids about to be out of the house in 2 weeks, bro. So I'm trying to save up the F bread right now, hopefully to get us a place to go, bro. If you can make me some F plays, do make me any place, bro, and I'll come out there, and then I would like to come out for a stick, but you make me some place, dog, and I'll come out.
And what's the date associated with that message that you just read?
It's 9/25/2019.
And so it sounds like the defendant is and that's from the defendant to you?
Yes.
Okay, and it says incoming?
Yep.
Okay. It sounds like the defendant is describing being kicked out of their...
Sustained.
The defendant mentions bread.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Money.
So I need money?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The ID is stricken. They're entered as full exhibits.
Judge, may I approach the witness?
Yes, you may.
So, Mark, I'm handing you what's been marked for admitted as State's exhibits 8 through 17. And I'm just going to ask you to take a look at those and look up when you're done. Hold on. Do you recognize those exhibits?
Yes.
What are they?
They're messages from my phone on Facebook between me and Adam.
Okay. And are those fair and accurate photographs of the messages that were on your phone?
Yes.
Do you recognize the phone that's in those?
Yeah. It's mine. Yeah.
And Your Honor, at this point, I'd ask to publish.
Yes, you may.